Yes, indeed. I'm excited today. Excited today. Let me share my screen with you guys because today I got something very, very special in store for you guys. And I think you're going to love it. All right. Welcome, everybody. How are you? I just want to say today is my 44th birthday. So I got something very special. I've never done anything like this before. My fiance and I, we just celebrated my 44th birthday in Playa del Carmen in Mexico. We just got back last night and she told me I should take off. She said, you should take off and just do it next week. And I said, no, I got to be here for my people. And that's why I'm here live with you to do this masterclass. So I want to say welcome. And in lieu of my 44th birthday, I want to do something special for you at the very end. So I want you to stay till the end so you can find out what it is. Now, I'm Mario. Welcome to this masterclass. I do want to warn you that this is going to be a bit different than your normal online class. We're going to start in about 3 minutes, but I want to make sure that if you hadn't had the chance to check out the Business Builders Blueprint, that will definitely help you get started quickly. I'm going to drop the link in the chat first. I want to make sure you're able to see the chat. I'm going to drop that link, and then I want you to say yes in the chat if you can see the link that I dropped. I just want to make sure it's working for you. Okay. How you doing, Dr. Charles? I see you there. How are you? I hope you're having a fantastic evening. Now, let me see if you can see that in the chat. Just hit me with a yes. All right. Now, before we get into the strategy, I want you to hear from people in different industries with different stories, but they have the same challenges as you might be having. And they all want to achieve the same goal as you, which is to monetize what they know, to turn that into a business. And Dr. Charles, I remember you saying something about book evolution. So you want to write a book. I've written 4 books. This was my first one. I'll tell you a little bit about that later. So you can use that to start a business. So everybody wants to, again, achieve that goal of turning what they know into an online business. So I want to welcome you. I see my child. I hope I'm pronouncing your name correctly. Dr. Charles Parker, welcome. Wisdom signed up. Barry, Margaret, Wayne, Titus, Gabriella, Tawana, Hunter, welcome to all of you. Now, you're going to hear from 3 people who are in 3 different industries, maybe with the same type of aspirations as you, and then we'll jump into the masterclass.
Hi, I'm Ellie. I've been a leadership coach for a mid sized company for over 7 years. I've always had a passion for personal growth and teaching, and for years I've been creating workshops and mentoring others informally. But lately, I felt this pull to do something more. I want to monetize what I know, turn my passion into something real that earns income and gives me more freedom with my time and family. The problem? I didn't know where to start. I scrolled through all this conflicting advice: start a podcast, build a blog, launch a course, but none of it gives me a clear path. Mario's coaching program really helped me make the decision to start my own business. I've been teaching leadership and communication for years, and now I wanted to turn that into a digital product that can actually impact more people and give me more control over my future. I just needed a system to show me how.
Hi, I'm Scott. I've been in IT for 7+ years, everything from systems architecture to mentoring junior engineers. I've always been the go-to guy for breaking down complex ideas and building systems that just work. But lately, I've felt stuck. Like no matter how hard I work, I'm still capped on my income. I wanted to create something of my own to build income streams that aren't tied to a paycheck or a time clock. I don't want to become an influencer or post on TikTok all day. I want to take what I already know and turn it into a business. Joining Mario's program helped me create what was in my mind. I've been training and coaching inside companies for years, and I wanted to turn that knowledge into a digital product or coaching offer that would give me more freedom and more options. I mean, how do you even start? I just needed a clear, simple system to show me what to do and how to actually start.
Hey, Kristen here. I've been a certified yoga therapist and holistic wellness educator for over 5 years. I specialize in mind body healing, especially for women dealing with stress, burnout, or trauma. I've taught in studios, led retreats, and worked one on one. But I've always felt like there's so much more I could share if I just had the right platform. Mario's program really helped me get there. I've been dreaming about creating an online program, or I don't know, something where I could teach what I know on a broader scale, maybe even write a book. But the online stuff, the tech, the funnels, the strategy, I'm just like, there's so much stuff online. It's overwhelming, really. I've been teaching this for a while. I wanted to turn that into a digital offer that allows me to make a bigger impact and finally build a business that reflects what I actually believe in. I just needed a proven process to help me do it the right way.
Now you just heard from Ellie, from Scott, and from Kristen, and they're all in different industries. They've got different stories, but they've got the same challenge. They've got expertise, years of it, and no one has ever taught them how to. I'll go ahead and stop that early. You just heard from Ellie, Scott, and Kristen. They've got different backgrounds, they got different goals, but they've all got one thing in common, and that is that they were sitting on years of expertise and they didn't have a clear way to turn that into income, to turn that into impact, to write a book, to turn that into independence. So if you're here right now, chances are that you can relate to some of them. Maybe you spent years learning or solving real problems, teaching people, but no one ever showed you how to package that up into something that people will pay for without burning out, without guessing your way through it, and without wasting time on the wrong stuff. So today, in this masterclass, you'll learn how to launch and scale your first digital offer, whether that's a book, whether that's a coaching program or a membership, anything like that, and an automated funnel. And I'm going to simplify that for you, even if you don't have a big audience or you don't know where to start. And I'm going to show you how to do this without needing a huge audience, any fancy tech, or without dancing on social media. You know, trends are all the rage these days. And this can be done in the next few days if you commit to taking action. So I have two goals for you with this class. One is to teach you how to launch your first digital offer and automated funnel, even if you don't know where to start. The second thing is I'm going to sell you something, but here's the caveat. If I don't make good on my first goal, my first promise that I just mentioned, then I insist that you don't even listen to the offer, that you don't buy anything I sell on this webinar or any other class. However, if I do show you that, if by some small miracle I show you how to get your first digital offer, set up your funnel easy, then you absolutely have to pay attention to the offer that I'm going to make at the end of this class. Do we have a deal? Type yes in the chat, or deal in the chat if you think that that's fair. And that means that I have to deliver for you. I want to see deal in the chat if you think that's a fair deal. All right. Now, I have spent hours putting this together because I'm committed to giving you my very best. And if you make the commitment to be engaged and to give your best, I think that we can make some magic happen. So if you have questions, make sure you drop them in the chat. You don't have to wait until the Q&A section so you don't forget. But drop that in the chat whenever you're thinking of it, and I will answer them when we get to that part of the class. So I'm going to start this off with a bit of fun. I've got 5 true or false questions for you to answer, and the answer to these is going to largely determine if you're ready to turn your expertise into a real business. So the first question is, you don't need advanced technical skills. You don't need to be tech savvy to successfully sell your knowledge online. True or false? That one is true. Many entrepreneurs, they start selling their basic knowledge with basic skills, and then they learn as they go along. The value is in what you know and your expertise, not in the tech that you use. So you can keep it simple and still be effective. And there are all kinds of platforms that are easy to use, simple tools like Zoom that I'm using now, Canva, basic email services that make it possible for you to deliver your message, your expertise with minimal technical knowledge. And then there are many course platforms that you can upload things to easy. I like Teachable. That's one that you can get started for free, and then you can get your feet wet selling what you know. All right, next question. True or false? You need a lot of time, a massive amount of time to start a business online. True or false? Drop it in the chat. That is false. Most people think that building a knowledge-based business requires a ton of time that most of us don't have, right? We have families, we have other things going on, we have other jobs maybe, but you can start monetizing your knowledge in as little as 1 hour per day. If you batch content, or maybe 3 to 4 hours per week can work for you depending on your schedule. Now, here's the disclaimer. I hear a lot of people online say, oh, you can build your business in 1 or 2 hours per week. And a lot of people get discouraged by that because they end up starting this business and it takes them longer than that. And the thing is, they never tell you what to focus that 1 or 2 hours per week on. So as an example, you can do something like one-on-one coaching calls. And this can all be based around a book you write. This can be all based around knowledge that you have. You can do a one-on-one coaching call on a book that you write, and then coach people, and then you can upsell people to a coaching offer or something like that. You can do small group sessions on Zoom, kind of like what I'm doing here. You can repurpose content that you already either create for your job or that you already have knowledge on. Many experts build side income streams while still maintaining their full-time career. So you don't need a lot of time. You just need to be doing the right things with the time that you're doing. All right, next question. True or false? People feel like there's no market. I hear this all the time. There's no market for your specific expertise, or you feel like the market is too saturated for your niche. True or false? Drop it in the chat. That one is false. There are people at different skill levels. So, and I've heard this one before. People don't think they have enough expertise, right? Let's say if you've been started and you have 6 months of experience. Well, the person that's just now starting, you'll be able to help that person. You'll be able to coach that person because they haven't gone through the things that you've gone through. So the person that's starting out is not going to have all the knowledge that you've learned in those 6 months, and you can help that person. So even in the so-called saturated markets, no one can be you. No one has your specific experiences and stories and unique perspective and your teaching style. Nobody can be you, and you can sell that at a premium price. And we're going to talk about that in a few minutes. Now, your combination of skills and experience and personality, that creates a unique market position. And we're going to talk about that, how you position yourself in the market. All right, next question. True or false? You need a lot of upfront capital to start monetizing your knowledge. True or false? Drop it in the chat, because I hear this all the time. Oh, I need $100,000. I need to get a loan from a bank. This is false. Many people that start knowledge-based businesses, they start with either no money or $100 or something, $100 or less in initial investment. And these are service-based businesses, digital products like a book. People sell these all the time. So you can begin with free tools like Zoom, again, Google Docs, social media, YouTube, or Canva, your phone, your laptop. You can use this to make any of these things, and you can get started. It costs you nothing but time. And then you can graduate to paid platforms as you get customers and as you grow the business. You don't need upfront capital. That's false. Last question. All right. You need to be an expert. I'm not qualified enough. I don't have the right credentials. True or false? You need to have that. Drop that in the chat. That is false. You do not need to be an expert to help others. If you're 2 to 3 steps ahead of someone in your field, then you can provide valuable guidance to them. Real world experience, things that you've done, acknowledge that you have, practical results that you've gotten. And as long as you can explain that in a clear way, that matters way more than any credentials you have. There's this girl who has a master's degree in marketing, and yet she was having the toughest time marketing her own products. So she reached out to me and a few other people, and she was like, I don't know how to do this marketing thing. I do not know how to market myself online. And it's because she didn't know how to clearly, convey the message. And that's why people who have good communication skills, they often out earn those people who have PhDs and things like that. You just have to learn how to create the offer. We're going to also talk about that here in a second. So how did you do? Did you guys do well? All right. So when you signed up, I did promise you a bonus gift. So I want you to make sure that you stay until the end. This bonus is going to help you remember everything that we cover in this masterclass. So even if you don't take me up on the offer, you still get value. And that's my number one goal. And it's from one of my best-selling courses. And so you're going to get that as my gift just for being here today. Now, if you're the type of person that thinks you can't do this because you're new or because you don't have enough experience, or you're on a limited budget, and this seems impossible, if time is important to you, my time is very important to me. I value that over money. If you think you might have a lack of self-confidence, or you think that you lack the skills to actually do this, then the good news for you is that by the end of this masterclass, I'm going to show you that none of this matters once you understand the framework I'm going to teach you in the 3 baby steps of online business. And that doesn't matter what you're marketing. That can be a course, a book, some knowledge, some coaching. But I'm going to show you the major keys you need to be successful by the end of this. None of that matters. Now, Matab is a teacher. All right. She had been teaching for a decade and she had just got tired of being in the classroom. She was stressed out, even though she was one of the highest performing teachers in her district. She got the highest evaluations. And she came to me and she said, Mario, I can teach you stuff with my eyes closed, but I cannot continue like this. I'm burnt out. I don't get paid enough to deal with all of this. And I still enjoy teaching. I want to help students, but I want to do it on my own terms. So I helped her start a tutoring business online. And within a week of me working with her, she booked 3 calls for her tutoring business. Now, she was saying the same thing that I'm sure that some of you might have said to yourself. What if I launch and no one buys? I'm too late. Feels like there's already a lot of people in the online space doing this. I don't have enough, a big enough audience. Some of you might be asking, am I qualified enough to teach this? Who will listen to me? Okay, maybe I should have started a while ago because now it feels like the market is saturated. What if I waste time and money and I still fail? I have asked myself all these same questions too, so you're not alone. So maybe you have valuable knowledge, but you don't know how to turn it into a product. Maybe you tried creating a course before, but no one bought it. Or you might be saying to yourself, I have no idea how to market myself online. But here's the deal. Most of the issues that people have with monetizing their expertise, it doesn't come from not having the tools. It comes from perfectionism and fear, being afraid of what people are going to say and wanting it to be perfect before you launch it. And the biggest risk is not failing, right? We're all going to fail at some point, and that's how you learn. The biggest risk is never starting and missing the opportunity to share your knowledge while building additional income streams. So if you're here, it means that you have something valuable to teach. And in the next few minutes, I'm going to show you how to build and launch your first digital offer and a simple funnel to sell it. Even if you have no audience, you don't run ads, you don't have a tech background or no experience. Now, a few years ago, I wrote this book. This is my first book. I thought it would be the start of my online business. I was excited. I thought I had something to share, something that people needed. So I tried to promote, I tried everything. I tried to promote it online. I tried to market it. I tried to build a business around it, but I had absolutely no clue what I was doing. I even hired a PR firm. I spent $3,000. I was hoping that they would get me attention, that they would help me sell books, that they would help me bring in clients. And do you know what happened? Practically nothing. The book didn't sell. The business didn't take off. I felt a little bit embarrassed. I was overwhelmed by all these moving parts, and I felt stuck. I was disappointed, but and I'm not in my feelings or anything, but I was pretty crushed. I put a lot of work into this, and it did absolutely nothing. But it taught me a lot of lessons. I spent time, I spent money, nothing seemed to work. So I started wondering, is it me? Am I too late? Is the market too crowded? Does it sound familiar? And everything changed. And you're gonna want to pay attention to this. Okay, it's the key to this whole system. It all turned around when I stopped trying to do everything. I stopped trying to be on all these social media platforms. I stopped trying to making content every day and focused on just these 3 things. Okay, and I call these the 3 baby steps of online business. And this is, if you learn these 3 things and you do these 3 things effectively, you can sell anything and create a business around anything. All right. 1, create content that converts. 2, build a warm audience. 3, monetize digital assets. And we're going to break those down. Okay. Again, 1, create content that converts. 2, build a warm audience. 3, monetize digital assets. All right. So I use this to build my first funnel. And the funnel is just something that introduces people to who you are and then takes them from not knowing you to offering them a product and to go further with you. Okay. So I use this to build my first funnel, and I grew my audience by almost 900%. I did this with YouTube. YouTube is my number one lead generation machine, because I don't just make videos. And I'm going to actually give you a strategy. I don't just make random videos. I make videos that are specifically geared to either my books or my products. And people overcomplicate this. It comes down to these 3 things. All right. Content, warm audience, then introduce them to your digital assets, which could be a book, anything that you have to sell. All right. These 3 steps became the framework that I now teach. It's called the BYOE Pathway to Profits framework. And BYOE just stands for Build Your Online Empire. And it's helped not just me, but dozens of other people launch their digital businesses the smart way. All right. This framework became the foundation of everything that I do and everything that I teach now. And I used it for the next 3 books that I wrote. It helped me promote my books. It helped me sell my digital products, and it helped me grow an engaged audience and enroll people into my courses and coaching programs. And now it's what I teach inside my Creator to CEO 8-week group coaching program. So here's how that looks. All right. You create targeted content. All right. Created, and the content is related to whatever you have. For instance, if you have a book or a book idea that you've written, that content specifically talks to the things in that book, so that you have, when you attract people to your whatever you're doing, they're going to be super targeted. All right. Then you want to build digital assets for leads and sales. And again, this can be a book or something like that. You give them maybe a snippet of your book in exchange for their email address. And then you build that an audience based off of that. And you deliver these automated, and then you scale it. All right. And this is the basic framework. So I'm going to show you how to build a profitable audience, even if you're starting from scratch. All right. You don't need to go viral. You don't need to have a big following to build trust and attract buyers. Second, I'm going to break down why complicated funnels, all of these pages, all of these different components, they usually don't work, and why the simpler ones convert better. And most importantly, I'm going to walk you through that 4-part framework that I just showed you on a slide before, that I use to launch digital products, to promote my books, and to fill my coaching programs. And this framework teaches you how to create content that connects with your ideal audience. A lot of people say you need to find your ideal audience, and that leaves us with the question, well, how do I do that, right? If you position your offer, which I'm going to actually give you a strategy on how to do that. If you position your offer, there are people out there, there's traffic out there. Okay. You just have to put it in front of the right people. And so I'm going to walk you through a system that delivers it to the value to the right people, and how you can automate it into a system that sells for you around the clock. So that's what we're going to go through. All right. So here's the first secret that people believe. And we talked about that in the true or false questions, but you don't need a big audience to launch a profitable offer. All right. Most experts believe that you need a ton of people before you can sell anything. They think you need thousands of followers or a YouTube channel or to go viral. You need none of that. Okay. You just need a focused niche and content that connects with the right people. Inside Creator to CEO, we help you build a warm audience from scratch with content that positions you as the go-to authority, even if you're starting with 0 followers. Again, I use this to grow my audience in under a month with minimal ad spend or complicated launches. And the key is not going wide, it's going deep and building trust with the right people. Here's the strategy, okay? And this is what I was talking about, where I don't just make random videos. Let's say I wrote a book. This is what I did for this book, but I didn't have this framework dialed in. For my subsequent books, I did. Okay. So you have a book, and you release very tactical, specific videos with a call to action in each one to a targeted lead magnet. All right. To a targeted lead magnet. And then you automate that process. And the video is specifically tailored to your product, so that the people who opt in are going to be super targeted. And we teach you how to create these kinds of videos with our video velocity method inside the Creator to CEO program. And now each week, when you come out with this one piece of content, you barrage social media with content or posts that lead back to that targeted lead generating video. And your audience is going to grow faster than you think. Now, let's say you're not, don't have a lot of social media, and you're only on 1 or 2 platforms. That's fine. Pick one main platform, maybe a second one, and go hard on those, right? You barrage them. You say, hey, I came out with this video, and it's about X. I'm going to give you the strategy, how you frame up that offer so that you get people to watch it. Now, and so you do this, you craft specific tactical videos, and then you have a lead magnet. Once you get 100 people on that list, then you launch or pitch that offer. All right. So let's say you create a product that's $500, and you get 10% of your list to take that offer. That's $5,000. All right. And even if you only converted 5%, so that's 5 out of 100, right? Which is more realistic. The average conversion rate today is like 5%. You still make about $2,500, right? And that's with no ads. Now, let's just say if you were to put $5 per day for 2 or 3 weeks to that content. I did that, and I got like 250 people on my list in that amount of time. You guys getting this? You don't need a big audience, right? So 100 people. Maybe you had, let's say maybe you had a $97 product, and maybe you got 50 people to take you up on that offer, right? That's close to $5,000. If you can make that right now today, what would be the first step you would take to make that a reality? Like if we gave you the steps, would you take that step? Right? Type yes in the comments if you would take that step. It would be a no-brainer. All right. I want you to think about that. So do you think that you could do this? All right. Craft a video, very targeted, offer them some way to get on your email list. All you got to do. People overcomplicate this thing. All right. Here's secret number 2. All right. You don't need complicated funnels to sell your expertise. All right. A big myth is that you need a fancy funnel with all these different things, right? Upsells and tripwires and webinar sequences. And I need to hire a copywriter. I need all these tech integrations. A funnel is just a process that takes people from not knowing you to introducing them to your offer, to your product, or to your coaching in a very targeted way. And if any of these words I just said trip you up, upsell, tripwire, webinar, funnel, you definitely need to be coached, and I can help you. I can help you understand it and implement that in your business. But trying to have all this fancy tech and all that is not only overwhelming, it's unnecessary usually, especially for first-time launches. So if you're just launching a book, you want to keep it simple, right? The more pieces you have inside your funnel, the more things that could go wrong and the more things you have to monitor. Did this email breaker? Did this PDF deliver? Did they get their ebook? Is this landing page broken? If you keep it simple, it's far easier to check what might have gone wrong and to fix it. And what you really need is a clear offer, and we're going to talk about this strategy here in a second. A clear offer, a lead magnet, and a simple automated email funnel. All right. That's what we help you build together inside the Creator to CEO program. We give you the templates, tools, and we give you the step-by-step help to build your entire back end without tech overwhelm. And back end just means the stuff that goes on behind the scene when somebody signs up to get whatever the thing is you're offering. All right. And this covers all 3 of the baby steps. Now let's talk strategy. All right. These are the three things. If you have a book, if you have an offer, if you have coaching, this is what you need to do. Create a lead magnet, create an offer, write an email. You can do those 3 things. Everybody can do those 3 things. That's just how simple it is. Okay. Again, when I launched my first book, I had none of this. I had none of these steps. I didn't have this framework. I didn't have the 3 steps of online business. But when I used the Pathway to Profits framework that I just mentioned, all these things started to make sense and it started to become repeatable. All right. So let's break this down. Okay. I use YouTube as my main lead generation tool. So I'll use that as an example here, but this works on any platform. All right. So let's talk lead magnet, right? The 3 steps I said: create lead magnet, create an offer, write an email. Lead magnet. Here's how you frame that up to get people to want what you have. Hey, I help you do X and Y amount of time without Z. And you can get immediate access to it by going here. Simple. All right. Here. And then I'm going to give you an example of this in a second. All right. Create an offer. The second step. And this is how you frame that up. I help X do Y without Z. And afterwards, you'll be able to make this transformation. You see where I'm going with this? All right. So here's an example of this type of this strategy using weight loss as an example, because it's the easiest thing I can think of, right? I help men over 30 lose belly fat doing this easy exercise in 10 minutes a day without changing up what you eat or going to the gym for a long time. All right. If you're a man over 30 and you want to get back your body, that is going to be very appealing to you. You're going to sign up for that. So again, that's an example of I help you do X in Y amount of time without Z. And you can get access immediately by going here. That's how you frame it up in the video. Okay. Now, in the beginning, you heard from Ellie, Kristen, and Scott. If I were Ellie and I were coaching her, right? She's an expert at her company in leadership and communication. So for her, I'd have her come up with some type of corporate leadership or communication like PDF, right? Because she's a communication coach for a Fortune 500 company. And then I'd have her write a short, quick ebook or create a framework that says something like, hey, if you're an industry leader that wants to improve communication with your team, you want to improve your production by 30% in 2 weeks, then download this thing, whatever it is, right? And you'll see results in 3 weeks, right? And you can do it in 5 minutes a day. This is the same type of framework that I just told you, right? For your lead magnet. I do X in Z amount of time without whatever their pain point is, all right? And that would lead to her coaching program. So that's the lead magnet. That's the offer. The offer would then be, if you like this, join my coaching program for executive leader, if you're an executive leader of a Fortune 500 company, to increase your production in less than 30 days. And that's the offer. And you just promote that. See, people don't stay on the offer for long enough to see what works and what doesn't work. And then you write some emails. It's that simple. You can sit down and write an email to a friend, right? Right. Okay. So anybody can do this. So you sit down, you write a few emails, and this is a simple funnel. Create the video. They see the video. The video should be enticing. And you say, hey, if this video was helpful, I got something that'll help you dive down on this problem you have even more. You can get it. Just drop your, just go to the description and download it. And then when they download it, you start sending them some emails like you're talking to a friend, trying to help them solve a problem. And this happens automatically. Is this starting to click for y'all? It's that simple. I hope that light bulb has gone off in your head that you can do this. All right. So here's secret number 3. All right. People think they need to have all this stuff figured out. Do I need an LLC? What do I need? I have to have all this stuff? I need to create a YouTube channel. I need to do all of this. You don't need to figure it out. You just need a simple, repeatable system. A lot of people come to me saying, Mario, I've already tried launching a course. I put myself out there and no one bought. And then they start to believe maybe they're not cut out for this. And so I asked them, well, how long did you promote it? 1 week. This is the stuff that I hear. I just started. I haven't made any sales in 3 days. The truth is that it's not that you're not qualified. It's that you did not have the right structure. So what you need is a clear, repeatable process that removes the guesswork. And that's exactly why I created the BYOE Pathway to Profits framework. All right. Now, the strategy of these 4 steps, we went over it a little bit earlier, but I just want to cover it again so you can get it in your head. It's a 4-part system, right? It walks you through everything that you need to, 1, create content that connects with buyers, because we're going to make super targeted stuff now. 2, to build your digital assets like lead magnets and courses. And a lead magnet, again, is just something you offer them in exchange for their email. You own your email addresses. You don't own Facebook or YouTube or any of these platforms, and they can change up their algorithm at any time. If you're selling your book on one of these platforms, and let's say you're making a good amount of money, right? Or you're getting leads from there, and then all of a sudden they change up. This happened, by the way. They change up their algorithm, and now you're not getting any more leads. This happens to people all the time. Whereas if you have your own email list that you're building, your own audience, you have buyers, potential buyers, okay? So build your digital assets like lead magnets and courses helps you automate your marketing with a simple funnel, and then monetize that expertise with scalable systems. I just gave you the system. Now, it's really not more simple, not more complicated than that. And this is the exact framework that I use to promote 3 of my books, to sell my digital products, and to grow a business that doesn't rely on me being in front of the computer 24/7. I just got back from Mexico with my fiance celebrating my 44th birthday. And so I want to do something special for you. I want you to stay till the end. I'm going to reveal that. I've never done this before. All right. This covers all the baby steps. Create content that converts, build a warm audience, monetize digital assets. All right. When you follow a system, instead of chasing all these different strategies, everything changes. So let's cover what we've learned so far. All right. We learned the 3 baby steps of online business, the 4 steps to the BYOE Pathway to Profits framework, and the 3 secrets, right? Build an audience. I'm repeating it because repetition helps you get it in there, right? Build an audience, create a simple lead magnet, and launch it with a simple system, okay? So our deal was that I would teach you how to create your first digital offer and launch. If you have a book, that's all you need to do. Create content around it, have a call to action in that content, and then have some automated emails that introduces them to the thing you want to sell. That's it, all right? And so now you have the tools to do that. That was our deal. And so if you use these, and remember, I'm going to give you a bonus that covers all of this stuff that we talked about, the 3 baby steps, and also that 4-part framework and what to do at each step of the framework. Hey, Mario here. Thanks for watching the replay. Thanks for signing up for the masterclass. Unfortunately, if you didn't show up live, that live bonus is not going to be available to you. But there's a very special announcement that I forgot to make. I sent it out via email, but in lieu of my 44th birthday, I'm giving half off my Creator to CEO coaching program if you join now. And also, there's only 20 of these slots that I'm giving out. So if you want to join, I'm going to drop the link to apply that is below. And then I'll give you you get the special code to use at checkout if you want to take advantage of the half off. So thank you. Enjoy the replay. If you are interested, I want to see your application. It takes about 3 minutes to complete. And after you complete it, you can schedule to book a call, and then we can talk about your next steps forward. Take care, peace, and blessings.